Hello, my name is AR. I work for the Farmers Market Fund that helps manage the Double Up Food Bucks program at farmers markets, which, if you don't already know about, check it out. It helps folks who have SNAP EBT to double their currency when they come to the market for the first $20 that they spend from their SNAP card. But this video is not about that. Before working there, I've worn a lot of different hats. I managed a farm that sold at the Montevillas Farmers Market and managed their booth there. Before that, I was a market manager at a couple of different markets in the Portland area. And even before that, I had a small sorbet company that sold, kind of got its start at farmers markets in Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. So I've kind of dabbled in a number of farmers market roles or farmers market adjacent roles. I'm by no means an expert, but hopefully I can share some jumping off points if you're looking to become a farmers market vendor, and specifically around admin, some of the boring nuts and bolts things that help keep your business safe and functioning. So, you want to join a market. What do you need? I'll let some of the other videos in this series talk more about the kind of business visioning and figuring out why you want to be at market and what your goals are. But I'm going to focus here to give you some starting points to just kind of think about some of the admin hurdles and requirements and things that might be necessary or even just recommended for vending at a market. But my biggest advice is to just take it one step at a time. A lot of business owners, myself included, don't start businesses because they love spreadsheets or because they are experts at business structures and understand all the legalese and all that kind of stuff. You get started because you have a product that you care about or a community that you care about and you want to participate in that. So just take it slow. There are experts out there. You don't have to be. Call in a lot of help. I'll be listing a bunch of resources, but this is just a real general overview. So if there's something in there that you're like, oh, I should think about that, seek out resources, seek out the experts who can help you with that particular part of it. Also, I'm not an expert. Disclaimer, not a lawyer. I don't know every single food safety law. I'm not an accountant, so this is kind of just a jumping off point. Okay, so let's start at the very beginning. What's your market? And I don't mean demographics, though that's very important to you. I mean literally, what market are you hoping to sell at, or markets? Or maybe you don't know. Do your research. I think probably every person who's making a video for this series is going to say something along the lines of do your research. While all markets have a lot of similarities, they really do have different cultures, and they definitely often have different requirements and certainly different application processes. Maybe this is obvious, but check their website, check their Facebook if they have one. If the market might have their vendor requirements listed. They might have their handbook for the year listed, and that often has the requirements. But if they don't, you can also kind of look back throughout previous years and see if they made announcements about applying or that they're looking for certain types of vendors. And that might give you a better sense of what you need to prepare for. And you can also go chat up market staff, but before all the market managers watching this video get pissed at me, be smart about it. You may not get very thorough answers if you are asking a market manager on a really hot day while they're trying to set up or help vendors, or it's busy. So, read the room. Markets are often slowest in the last hour, so that can be a good time to go. Another great way to stand out is just to kind of quickly introduce yourself and then email later, because that'll get a market manager's attention and they might be give your questions and things a little more time and energy. When I was a market manager, I really respected folks who understood that markets take so much work to organize, whether they're big or small. They don't just pop up. So I really, when a potential vendor recognized that, I was like, oh, they get it. They might make a really good vendor. That being said, if the market is slow or small, I often welcome the conversation. So just read the room. There are a lot of regulations and requirements for food products, from the Oregon Department of Ag to your local health department. Some markets are going to check and make sure that you have met all of those requirements in licensing, and others might trust that you're doing due diligence and that you're responsible for your own products. But all of that aside, one requirement that is needed for many markets, regardless of whether or not you have a food product, is liability insurance. Even if your market does not require liability insurance, I cannot recommend it strongly enough. I'll talk a little bit about business structures later, but liability insurance is like the bare minimum to protect yourself in the off chance that something goes wrong. And you might think, oh, like I'm selling beeswax candles, or, I sell flowers, bouquets. It's not food, like no one's gonna get sick. What could happen? Well, if you're at a market, what if someone burns their hand on your display candle? What if someone trips over your weights and gets a concussion and their insurance wants to hold you liable? And this topic is a great question for market manager or other vendors who are at the market. They can often point you in the direction of, who do they buy their insurance from? How much does it cost them? You want to be working with someone who already knows small businesses and kind of what events like farmers markets are like. So, ask who people trust and who their brokers are. So another thing to consider is your business structure and registering your business. I'll preface this by saying that not all folks want to grow their business. Not all folks want to expand beyond one market or anything like that. So it's important to kind of know where you want to grow and start there. There's a really great video in this series from Creole Me Up about kind of burnout and thinking through like what growth looks like and all of that, planning for it. So start there. And some of those decisions or goals can inform what business structure you want and therefore how you register your business. The State of Oregon Business Express Information Center has some videos and links to different structures such as sole proprietorship, limited liability corporation or LLC. And you can see they have info on business names, what qualifies as a business that needs to register. A lot of really great frequently asked questions, and that's great. So check that out. And if watching dry videos from the state of Oregon is not your thing, shocker, you can also talk to people in person at the Small Business Development Center office in your area. They can generally point you in the right direction locally, or your local chamber of commerce. Here you can kind of see the SBDA's main website. They've got all sorts of classes and resources, but also information for specific counties. Their local offices are generally hosted by the local university or college, so you can check there. I recently registered as an LLC structured business for my flower farm, and while some of the language on the application was not very straightforward, it wasn't too hard to kind of like Google around, figure it out, and the overall process was like pretty quick and painless. But what your business structure is and how you're registered is going to inform kind of what names you put on things, whether it's your personal name or your business name, your insurance, that kind of stuff. So start there. Another big admin tip is to separate your finances, to separate your personal finances from your business finances as best as you can. Even if you're planning on staying small and the farmer's market's going to be your only sales venue, this can get messy so quickly. Ask me how I know. So this is a really good starting point. Even if you're doing all your own accounting and you're really tiny, it is so helpful. It could be as simple as setting up a separate checking account with a card for your business. That's even like at the bank you already have, linked to your personal accounts that you already have. But it could also mean getting like a fully separate business account with a credit card and checks and the whole shebang, just kind of depending on what you need. And like you may think you're too small for that, but like Yes, maybe you're paying for basically everything for your business out of your personal finances and not money that's come, directly from the business. Maybe you're not paying yourself. You probably aren't paying yourself. Your business income might be going like directly to groceries or shoes for your kid, and not back into the business itself. That's okay. It's going to be helpful to separate it either way. When it comes time to do your taxes, when it comes time to apply for grants, even if you just want to brag about your business and how you're doing, you're going to want to know what money came in and what money came out. And it's also going to help inform your decisions about insurance, registering your business, structures, all that kind of stuff, depending on how much money you're actually making and how it might affect your taxes. Taxes are another place where that small business development can really help you. They will know a little bit about how to get you set up, what's going to be best for you in terms of your structure and how much money you're making from this business, and or if you have other income from a W-2 or 1099, just other jobs in general. Okay, so we've talked about insurance, we've talked about a little bit about business structures, registration, money accounts. The other thing that is important for farmers markets, and many, especially bigger markets, are requiring is that you're properly licensed. Now, the state of Oregon doesn't have like a general operating business license, but there are many, 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 many smaller licenses that may be required depending on what type of product or business you have. Certain products require certain licenses if you want to be all above board, which a lot of markets require. So there's a link in this video series, or there's a video in this series about commercial kitchens and about temporary kitchen licenses if you're doing hot food. And like I said, the Montevilla Market has a great list of links on their website to other agencies like the Oregon Department of Ag, or if you're making baked goods and you're a farmer, things of that nature. The state of Oregon also has this great search tool where you can enter keywords from your product type and it'll pop up whatever licenses might apply. It's not foolproof, but can give you a good place to start. So you can kind of see that here. This area of knowledge is also a great one to ask other vendors who have similar products. What licenses do they have? What have they worried about? And if it feels too awkward, if you're one of 2 florists in a town and that feels too awkward, this is a great way to get knowledge from folks around the state. Look at other markets, see who their vendors are that have similar products to you, and reach out. Generally, the business community is like so willing to help new businesses and share information. All right, I'm gonna end here for this video. I know it was like a little dry and kind of rapid fire with sort of big picture overview of some things that are really detailed, but hopefully it sparked some ideas for you of where to start and where you might need to go next. So thank you.